What's going on, everyone? This is Matt speaking Clean Air. All right, so here's a little tip for you guys, especially for the DIYers that are, working in their garages right now. It's like negative 15 degrees in Canada because obviously we got winter. We're not so blessed to be living in California or Florida. For all you Florida boys and California boys where it's always hot. Fuck you. No, I'm kidding. No, it's good for you that you're there. I mean, we love Canada. We love snow, and that's what it's about. We love Tim Hortons, and as crazy as our country is, it's just crazy, and we love it because we're Canadians. So, you know what? You don't like it, too bad. But what happens is when you're working in the garage and it's really, really cold, and usually what happens is you've noticed that all the electronic components, right? Like all the cables and all the relays or all the fuse holders and stuff like that, they get very, very stiff, right? So they're very, very hard to work with. Like, it's very hard to move the wires. They're not getting brittle because of a lot of heat. They're getting very, very kind of stiff and hard to work with. So how do you fix that, right? Here, let me show you guys a trick. So you're doing your wiring and everything, you know what I mean? And this thing is so hard to move and stuff like that. And you guys should try it, right? When it's negative 10, 15 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, right? And you're going into your garage and you're working with relays or with wiring and stuff like that. This stuff is so stiff, right? Well, what do you do with it? Duh, find a heater, heat it up a little bit with a heat gun. Whoa, don't drop it. Heat it up a little bit. What happens is usually heat, you know what I mean? Just like when you're doing shrink up or anything like that, heat loosens everything up, right? Is because, see how nice and movable the wiring is right now? Even the fuse holders or the actual, the actual holder itself becomes a lot easier to work with. It's not as not brittle, but stiff. So usually what you need to do is just get one of those little heat guns and heat it up a little bit, not too much for the point where you're gonna melt it, because if you have a lot of heat, like this garage heater has a lot of heat, but it'll make it a lot easier to work. Yeah, so essentially for those that are starting out and working on your cars in your garage, and I encourage this as our suspension brand, I encourage you guys to do your own installations. We're there to support you and stuff like that. Get down and dirty. That's the best way to learn about air suspension and get stuff done. But heat is essentially your friend. Heat is your friend in any kind of situation. You know what I mean? Unless if you're in California and Florida when it's too hot, heat is not your friend. But in this case, whenever you have any kind of components where it's wiring stuff, and when it's fuse holders and stuff like that, just heat it up a little bit. It'll make it a lot easier to work with. Install it, put it in, and off you go. So it puts, a little bit of a trick for you guys out there, right? Peace out, and definitely, you want to get bagged, you want to get coilovers, go to getlow.ca. Super simple. All of our kits are listed. All the pricing is there. We ship throughout Canada. We support Canada-wide. We ship to the United States as well. So definitely hit us up at getlow.ca. Peace.